The first muscle car era came and went in less than 10 years from 1964 to 1971. It was a time of hippies, rock and roll, and the space race. Muscle cars from that period were beautifully styled, relatively low cost, and had gobs of big torque power for that push you into the back of your seat acceleration sensation. In this video, we focus on the year 1969 and list 10 of the quickest and sickest factory muscle cars that you could buy at the time, what they cost back then, and how much they're worth now. At number 10 is the Mustang Mach 1 with the 428 Super Cobra Jet engine. In 1969, a wide range of 11 engine choices were on tap for the Mustang, from a 120 horsepower inline 6 all the way up to the mighty 429 cubic inch big block behemoth. The Super Cobra Jet in the Mach 1 went beyond the plain old Cobra Jet spec'd 335 horsepower 428 and included an engine oil cooler, beefier crankshaft and connecting rods, along with the drag pack specific 3.9 or 4.3 to 1 differential gear ratios. How quick could it whisk you down the drag strip? It was good for a 13.69 second quarter mile pass at 103.4 miles per hour right from the factory. In 1969, this Mach 1 would have set you back about $4,300. And today would require about $170,000 to put one in your hands. In 1969, going Commando meant something a little different than what it means today. Back then it meant that a standard 440 cubic inch V8 with a single 4-barrel carburetor lurked beneath the hood of your '69 Plymouth GTX. This GTX put out 375 horsepower and earned the adjective of super on its name sticker. The two-door hardtop or convertible GTX was the more upscale version of the Belvedere B-body over that of the pillared Plymouth Roadrunner Coupe. It was quick too, earning the position of number 9 on our list. The quarter mile would flash by in 13.56 seconds, at which point you'd be traveling at 104.9 miles per hour. When new, this car costs around $3,719.69. Right now, you could scoop one up for about $90,000. Another Chrysler B-body on our list at number 8 is the 1969.5 Dodge Super B. It's a 1969.5 because Dodge debuted this variant in the middle of the model year as the A12 M code option. The M code got you the 440 cubic inch V8 with race-strengthened internal components and a bump in horsepower to 390 from the 375 ponies of the standard 440. Its coup de grace was the trick intake manifold and carburetor setup. Consisting of 3 2-barrel Holley units, hence the term 6-pack, it was engineered with a unique linkage system designed to cruise around during restrained acceleration using just the center 350 CFM carburetor for fuel-air mixing duties. But when the go pedal was mashed, all 3 of the carburetors became activated with a total of 1,350 cubic feet per minute of the fuel-air mixture dumped into the engine. The quarter mile arrived in 13.56 seconds at a velocity of 105.8 miles per hour. $3,800 out the door was what it would cost in 1969. Today, it goes for around $110,000. Of course, a legendary Corvette had to show up on our list. Some would argue that this isn't a muscle car, but it is considered an icon and part of the Supersport team of vehicles in Chevrolet's 1969 lineup. This is the Corvette Stingray L88, a race spec only version of the Vette that featured a 427 cubic inch engine with aluminum cylinder heads and a special air induction system that output a factory rated 430 horsepower, but in actuality generated around 560 horsepower. The ultra-high compression L88 required high-octane fuel, or engine damage could result if a lower-rated fuel was used. It could shred the quarter mile in 13.5 seconds at 111.1 miles per hour. Not exactly cheap when new in 1969, it would ding your bank account by about $5,700 back then. These are super rare and would require $425,000 to put one in your hands today. Oh yeah, don't forget to factor into your fun budget the $10 per gallon racing fuel that it gulps down, should you wish to take it for a spin. The next one on our list at number 6 was a NASCAR-inspired Chrysler B-Body, the 1969 Dodge Charger 500 with the 426 Hemi, of which only 67 were built, making it super rare. Created as a homologation requirement vehicle, it differed from the Charger RT with its flush-mounted rear backlight and a front grille and headlights from a 1968 Dodge Coronet. In doing so, it achieved aerodynamic superiority over the standard Charger body and made it more competitive on the high-speed oval tracks like Daytona and Talladega. Besides being fast on the left-turn-only ovals, it was quick on the drag strip too, requiring only 13.48 seconds to burn down the quarter mile at 109 miles per hour. If you were lucky enough to pick one up when it was new, it would cost you $4,300 in 1969. You can still get one today, but it will leave a hole in your wallet where $220,000 used to reside. Boss. The Mustang designation that meant there was something special under the hood, and earns a number 5 spot on our list. There was the Boss 302, the Boss 351, and the king of them all, the Boss 429. The Boss 429 engine was created to go racing in NASCAR to compete against the Chrysler Hemi engines that ruled in the late 1960s. To qualify it for racing, Ford had to build at least 500 copies of the engine and sell them to the public. To do that, Ford chose to wedge it into its Mustang sports roof body with extensive engine bay modifications required along the way. It was also front-heavy due to the big block lump occupying its engine room, but could still conquer the quarter mile in 13.3 seconds at 107 miles per hour. Originally costing around $5,000 when new, these are one of the rarest and most expensive Mustang types on the market today, and at auction go for about $450,000 and climbing each year. Combine the Plymouth Roadrunner with the fabled 426 Hemi with the air grabber hood, and you've got yourself a legendary late 1960s road warrior. Named Car of the Year in 1969, this ride was fast, loud, and an imposing road intimidator on the street and at the drag strip, and looks particularly menacing in black. An early example of cross-brand marketing between Warner Brothers and Plymouth, the Hemi Roadrunner is a rare bird with only 787 produced with this engine. True to its namesake, the Roadrunner sprinted through the quarter mile at 13.32 seconds at 107.65 miles per hour. The Hemi Roadrunner would have cost about $4,500 in 1969 when new, with the Hemi engine option alone contributing a hefty $813 to the total. They come up at auction every so often, with about $170,000 needed to park one in your garage. At number 3, the 1969 Camaro COPO ZL-1 occupies an esteemed presence on our list. There were 1,069 COPOs produced in total, with the majority of these having the solid lifter L72 version of the 427. However, 69 of the COPOs had the very special and rare ZL-1 engine option. This was the all-aluminum version of the 427, designed specifically for drag racing in the superstock classes and rated at 430 horsepower. It could put lots of other muscle cars to shame back in the day by devouring the quarter mile in 13.16 seconds at 110 miles per hour. When new, the ZL-1 engine choice for the Camaro would set you back $4,000 alone as part of the $7,300 total price for the car. Nowadays, these celebrated muscle brutes go for around $800,000. Another Camaro on our list coming in at number 2 was the '69 Camaro SS with the L89 engine. If you wanted a lighter big block engine in your Camaro, this was the option to have for that year. The L89 started off as a 375 horsepower L78 396 cubic inch V8 and added a higher compression ratio and aluminum heads for a net horsepower gain of 0. But it weighed 50 pounds less than its L78 sibling. It could definitely expedite one's trip down the quarter mile and cross the trap in 13 seconds at 108.6 miles per hour. Not many people ordered these in 1969, as it was hard to justify the extra $400 for the L89 engine with no bump whatsoever in rated horsepower. When new, the SS L89 costs around $3,800 with only 311 produced that year. It's another example of a rare beast that has been escalating in value over the years, where they're now going for around $220,000. At number 1 is our final Chrysler B-Body on the list. It's the 1969.5 Plymouth Roadrunner with the A12 drag racing option and the M-Code 440 cubic inch 6 BBL, or 6-barrel. This was the same package found on the Dodge Super Bee 446 pack at number 8 on our list. Again, this was the 440 engine with the specially cast aluminum intake manifold with mounts for 3 2-barrel Holley carburetors that became fully activated under spirited acceleration inputs and was rated at 390 horsepower. The engine was outfitted with race-spec internal components to give it that extra oomph over that of the standard 440. It takes the number 1 spot here because it was the quickest of them all, with the quarter mile taking only 12.91 seconds at 111.8 miles per hour, straight from the factory. As with the Super Bee, it also cost around $3,800 when new. Pick one up at auction these days, and it will set you back about $150,000. That's it for now. Hope you enjoyed the video, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.